Hey, what is happening, guys? LeBron Games here, and welcome to the world of Warcraft. I am very excited to get this new series started for a couple of different reasons. First and foremost, I have definitely lost touch with the game as it stands currently. I first started playing World of Warcraft back in, I want to say, about 2007 or so, during the heyday of the game's first expansion called the Burning Crusades. A friend of mine from school, him and I had already been playing RuneScape together for a couple years, and by the time we found out about World of Warcraft, he started playing first, and eventually he was like, hey, come play this new game. It's like RuneScape but better. And I mean, yeah, that's definitely an understatement for those of you that are familiar with RuneScape as it was back in the day, which currently now there's old school RuneScape, which does its best to kind of recreate that. But anyways, yeah, we started playing World of Warcraft at this gaming center where I grew up. It was a really cool setup. The whole place was just blacked out. I mean, there were windows, but windows were covered, as I said, blacked out. Again, the year was 2007, so they had all the all the newest consoles, which at the time were Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, and then obviously PCs. There's a projector room in the back where they had a whole setup for Rock Band that people could play, which was also really cool. And then just tables and tables of PCs, which every PC had World of Warcraft installed on it. And that was, I mean, it was full a lot, especially during the weekends, specifically Friday and Saturday. And there was a mix of different age groups, from kids like myself and my friend to more young adults and some full-grown adults, all just sitting around playing World of Warcraft. It was a great time. So yeah, that was my first foray into the game. And not too long after, the second and probably the greatest expansion to the game, Wrath of the Lich King, was released. And that was, in not just my opinion, but many other fans, that was the greatest expansion the game ever had. And it just added not a ton of new content, but there was a new class that everyone was really hyped for, a complete new continent to go and quest in, with new dungeons, new raids, all the good added content stuff. So and so yeah, played through and just leveled up during the Burning Crusades. Then Wrath of the Lich King came out, and played through that a little bit. I never made it to the end game content at the time. I never got to take part in those end game raids and all that good stuff, but I would like to at least attempt to explore some of that some of that older content, as well as the newer content. There is another expansion slated to be released either later on this year, or I believe it's this year though. It's called The War Within, and I haven't done any research on it yet. I don't know exactly what we're looking at as far as new content, but as I play through this series, I will research the new expansion and try to fill you guys in on, you know, whatever it is I learn. But yeah, never got to do any of the end game content, so that was, you know, kind of a bummer. And then a little while later, the third expansion, Cataclysm, was released. At that time, I had already kind of fallen off with my Warcrafting days, but a friend of mine got me back into the game with an item called a Scroll of Resurrection, which it was a consumable item. You used it on one character, it boosted them up to almost max level and got you questing in the newest areas of Cataclysm, and that only lasted for a month. The scroll itself only gave 30 days of game time, and then I believe I only paid for another couple of months after that, and just, you know, completely just lost touch with the game. And recently I've been feeling that kind of nostalgic itch, and so I went and got the game. Well, I didn't really get it, but downloaded it, started playing, leveling up, and yeah, so here I am. Let's go ahead and log in here. So I actually have a few different characters here. Anyone who's seen some of my Skyrim playthrough, they should know about Adonan's paladin character. He was my first when I started playing the game again. Initially, I was going to start record a playthrough of a hunter, but as you can see, I got up to level 6 here. I just hate the changes they've made to the hunter class, which really hurts me, because hunter was the first character and class that I played and, you know, leveled up. Again, I didn't max out or anything, but I got pretty far, you know. I want to say up to like the mid 50s or so, and then the Scroll of Resurrection boosted me up to, I want to say 80 on my original Night Elf Hunter. This character here, this is a Night Elf, by the way, which I'll go over here shortly. And yeah, I really tried, but I noticed in the recording that I literally didn't have very many positive things to say about the class, which, again, that just really sucks, because it was the first one I fell in love with and, you know, got a good understanding for. So I might continue to play him and level him up on the side, but I mean, I don't really see that happening. Not anytime soon anyway, unless they were to, you know, go back and kind of correct some of the mistakes, in my opinion. But yeah, just really big disappointment. I was really excited, and all that excitement went out the window over the course of just like a short hour. So, as an alternative to the Night Elf Hunter that I wanted to play, I think in this playthrough that I'm going to be recording here for you guys, we're going to be running a Also a Night Elf, just because they are my favorite. But I'm going to be running a Night Elf Death Knight. Let me go here into the character creation and go over all this good stuff. So the Death Knight class that we're going to be playing, they were released in the Wrath of the Lich King expansion. Basically all of these 4 classes down here, the Monk, the Demon Hunter, the Death Knight, and the Evoker, were not in the vanilla World of Warcraft game. In the vanilla game, we had the Warrior, Hunter, Mage, Rogue, Priest, Warlock, Paladin, Druid, and Shaman. And as you can see here, a lot of these... Here's a good example. Let's pick the Tauren. Now, it looks like the Tauren can play basically any class except for the Demon Hunter, and I don't have Dragonflight at the moment. I might end up getting it, but yeah, in the current version of game, which the community refers to as retail. Now, I don't know why they call it retail, because in my mind, when I think retail, you know, I picture going to the store and buying like a physical copy of the game on a disc, bringing it home and installing it. And I don't think they even make discs for this game anymore. And most PCs don't even have a disc drive anymore. I mean, mine certainly doesn't, but yeah, so this version of the game is called Retail. Again, I don't really know why. That's just the name, and I guess it's stuck. But anyways, yeah, we're going to be rocking the Night Elf Death Knight, which, I mean, I don't think I necessarily have to go into all the different races. I mean, I'll cover them briefly. You got, for the Alliance, which is the good guys of the game, you have humans, dwarves, night elves, which we're going to be playing as, and gnomes. These top 4, the humans, the dwarves, the night elves, gnomes, and alternatively the orcs, undead, tauren, and trolls, those were the 8 playable races from the vanilla WoW experience. Now, with the first expansion, the Burning Crusade, we were given the Draenei on the Alliance side and the Blood Elves on the Horde side. And then the second expansion came around and we were given the Death Knights. Third expansion, Cataclysm, came around. We got the Worgen, which are werewolves, and actually I might also play a Worgen something, because I remember when I got that Scroll of Resurrection on my account, I played one because I had the newest expansion. I figured, why not? But I don't really remember it much. I remember it slightly, but not much. So, I'll probably end up playing a Worgen at some point as well. But, as I was saying, with Cataclysm, we got the Worgen and the Goblins. The fourth expansion, the Mists of Pandaria, we were given the Pandaren, which you can be a Pandaren on either the Alliance or the Horde. From what I understand, according to the Lord, the Pandaren were kind of neutral and joined either the Alliance or the Horde, depending on their tribal beliefs, the way I understand it. The next expansion, and also Mists of Pandaria gave us the Monk class, as far as I remember. Then the next expansion was Legion, and I believe that was the expansion that gave us the Demon Hunter, which the Demon Hunter was more famously recognized from one of the boss raids in the Burning Crusades, where you had to take down Illidan's Storm Rage, a big character in the Warcraft universe. That's another thing I forgot to mention. World of Warcraft is not the first game in this series. Warcraft was a strategy game that already established like all the lore that this game just built on and turned into an MMO. So I think that's pretty neat. And then let's see here. Next, the next expansion we got was the Warlords of Draenor, and to be completely honest, I don't know exactly what what classes or any additions that game brought. I think just new areas. And then the expansion after that was Battle for Azeroth, which gave us all these additional races to play. On the Alliance side, we have the Void Elves, the Lightforged Draenei, Dark Iron Dwarves, Kultiran, and Mechanomes. And then on the Horde side, we have the Nightborn, High Mountain Tauren, Maghar Orc, Zandalari Troll, and Volpera. Yeah, these additional races came from the Battle of Azeroth expansion. And then finally, the current version and expansion of the game we have is Dragonflight, which gave, I can't even click on it because I don't have the expansion at the moment, but they gave us the Drakthir, which are, anyone who's familiar with D&D, they are basically just Dragonborn. They're dragon people. Not to be confused with the Dragonborn from Skyrim, who could be literally anything, you know, the player character wanted them to be. Yeah, and like I said, you know, I might get the Dragonflight, or if I just pre-purchase the next expansion, I believe it comes with Dragonflight anyway, so might do that. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, so as I said, we're going to be rocking a Night Elf Death Knight for this series of recordings, which I already have him made and ready to go. So we're going to just jump in. We're gonna have an opening cinematic.
A hero, that's what you once were. You stood boldly against the shadow and purchased another dawn for the world with your life. But the evil you fought is not so easily banished. The victory you claimed, not so easily held. For now, the specter of death looms above the world yet again, and it has found new champions to bring about its final reign. Knights of darkness, wielding runes of death and destruction, bound by the will of the Lich King. This is the hour of their ascension. This is the hour of your dark rebirth.
Okay, now every race has opening cinematics like that, but I just always found the Death Knight's intro to be just really, really cool. Here, first, I'm going to adjust some things. We're going to want to put our character frame up there. Move our bar down just slightly. And I'm going to move my map over just a hair. Only because right here it shows my recording status, so I just don't want it blocking my map. Normally I do like it here in the corner, but that's just a, you know, slight adjustment. I'm just gonna have to get, wow, hang on. Oh my goodness. I didn't know you could make the map that big. We'll leave it right about there where it was. Um, oh, hang on. Not invert changes all the way. Right about there. That's fine. Okay, save. Let's call this layout. All right. There we go. We are ready to rock and roll. So, the caveat to playing a Death Knight, especially in the older version of the game, the original, you had to level up your character, a character, to level 55 to even get to make a Death Knight, because Death Knight started at level 55. Here, we start at level 8. So, one of the first things I noticed as a direct comparison from retail WoW compared to the original is the accelerated rate of just leveling. As you saw at the beginning, I had a level 6 hunter. I got from level 1 to level 6 in maybe half an hour, whereas in the original game, I could still make it to level 6 in a good amount of time. But yeah, just the leveling it's just so much more accelerated, and I just did not like the changes they made to the hunter. So, all my ramblings aside, what do we got there? Oh, just an NPC. We are going to get underway and talk to the Lich King. Such a badass. Our first quest he gives us here is called In Service of the Lich King. All that I am, anger, cruelty, vengeance, I bestow upon you, my chosen knight. I have granted you immortality so that you may herald in a new dark age for the Scourge. Gaze now upon the lands below us. The Scarlet Crusade scurries to undo my work, while Light's hope stands defiantly against us, a blemish upon these plague lands. They must all be shown the price of their defiance. You will become my force of retribution. Where you tread, doom will follow. Go now and claim your destiny, Death Knight, and our objective is to report to Instructor Resuvius in the heart of Acaris. So, accept our quest. Yeah, all of our questing is going to take place down here, but we're still up here in the Lich King's Citadel for now, but we will be descending down to the Plague Lands very shortly. I don't know, so far this all seems about the same. Oh, here, that's another one we can change. Oh, it doesn't. Okay, yeah, we're gonna move this up there. Party is fine. Buffs and debuffs. Going here, let's do it this way. Something like that. Wait, where's that pop up? There. Raid frames, boss frames, casting bar. Okay, all that's fine. Alrighty. Here's our next quest giver, Instructor Resuvius. You've heard the call of the Lich King, Death Knight. Now is the time to answer your master. Quest. The Emblazoned Runeblade. The single most important piece of equipment to a Death Knight is the Runeblade. It is through the rune blade that a Death Knight commands the powers of frost, blood, and the unholy. The rune blade also acts as a vessel to store the Death Knight's runic power. The time has come to create your first rune blade. Search the weapon racks on the... Oh, hey, get back here. I was talking to you, man. That's awfully rude. Time has come to create your first rune blade. Search the weapon racks. Okay, whatever. Search the weapon racks in the ebony hold. Yeah, gotcha. I think just to save time, I don't know, I might continue to read all the quests. Okay, so we got our rune blade, and then we have to come over to this rune forge here. Click on it, and it starts to do its thing. And then we can go turn it in. Oh, here, that's gonna bug me. I like having my Hearthstone in the first slot.
I will listen.
Okay. Okay, sorry. The rune blade is an extension of your being. A Death Knight cannot battle without a rune blade. Continue.
Work to be done.
Well done, Varanor. You have successfully created your first rune-bladed weapon. With it, you will slow the seeds of chaos and destruction. In your wake will be a bloodied field of battle, littered with the corpses of all that would dare oppose the Scourge. We will learn rune forging, and it looks like we'll actually get a choice of... Damn it.
You need something?
Yeah, and it looks like we'll actually get a choice of different rune blades. That's new. From what I remember playing a Lich, not a Lich, a Death Knight in the original, you only got one type of rune blade. Okay, rune forging. Preparation for battle. The mark of war is etched inevitably upon your soul, Death Knight. You have learned the dark art of rune forging, and with it, you will engrave runes of power upon your weaponry. Preparations for battle must be made. Return to one of the rune forges here in the heart of Acheris, and use the power of rune forging to emblazon your weapon with a rune of power. Return to me when your blade glows with dark energy.
Leave me be.
Okay, so what we have to do is we have to come back over here to the rune forge. I believe we gotta open our abilities here. Yes, rune forging. Okay, so let's see what the differences are here. Engrave your weapon with a rune that causes 1% extra weapon damage as frost damage and increases enemies' vulnerability to your frost attacks by 3% and attack up to 5 times. Has a chance to heal your first 6% here and increase your tool. I might go with that one, the Fallen Crusader. Engrave your two-handed rune increases armor by 5% and all stats by 5%. Okay, so I think I'm gonna pick that one. With this one is a one-handed, that one is a one-handed. We're gonna go with the two-handed one, I think. Yeah. Awesome. Now where's he at? Another Night Elf Death Knight.
We press on.
Remember these words, Death Knight. The rune forge is a scourge instrument. It exists only in Acheris and certain locations in Icebound. You may only emblazon your weaponry at a rune forge. Return off and emblazon all of your weapons. A Death Knight must be prepared for all that would dare oppose him.
Suffer well.
The endless hunger will soon take hold of you, Death Knight. When it does, you will feel pain immeasurably. There is only one remedy for the suffering. The hunger must be sated. Give you the key to your salvation. Change the heart of Acarus or those deemed unworthy of the Dark Brotherhood. Use the key to free an unworthy initiate. Allow them to equip their gear and battle you for their freedom. Kill and the pain will cease. Fail and suffer for eternity. Live or die, the choice is yours to make. So, all we gotta do is come down here. Well, we'll pick this dwarf chick because I saw her first. And she looked at me funny. I like how they give you the ability to either pick a two-handed sword, or you can dual wield. Do we even have dual wielding? I'm pretty sure we do. Alright, she's already dead. Wait, we don't need that on our bar. Hang on. We can move that away. Everything else should already be on here. Got Death Crypt, Death Coil, Rune Strike, Death and Decay. Yeah, okay. That is one of the big differences I've noticed, is that you get abilities and they're just added to your bar right away if you have the spots. As expected, my chosen knight has triumphed. You are ready, Baranor. Awesome, gotta level up. Behold, Acarus, the grand citadel of death. It has no equal in this world, not even the mighty Naxxramas. Oh, he's gonna walk away. Not even the mighty Naxxramas could withstand a direct assault from the Ebonhold. Looming above the face of the necropolis is the all-seeing eye of Acarus. From it, the master is able to see great oh man, got too far away.
Yes.
From it, the master is able to see great distances into the territories held by our enemies. What the eye sees, the Lich King sees, and now the time has come for you to peer through the eye. The Lich King has called for you, Baranor. Go now, suffer well, brother.
There's
Awesome.
work to be done.
I remember being a kid when my friend and I were able to convince our parents to get us World of Warcraft and play it at home. My family's computer wasn't the graphics card specifically couldn't handle the game, so I remember having to beg my dad to go out and get a better graphics card just so we could play World of Warcraft. Alright, turn in our quest here. Time to spill the blood of our enemies approaches. You must first learn what it is that you seek to destroy. Before rushing headlong into battle, it is what separates a Death Knight from a mindless ghoul. I will grant you sight beyond sight, my champion. You use the Eye of Acarus to steal our enemies' secrets. Towering above this platform is the Eye of Acarus. From it you will call forth a probe that you will use to analyze Scarlet Crusade fortifications at New Avalon. The Eye has a host of powers that should make the acquisition of this data simple. Use the Eye's siphon to analyze the Forge, Town Hall, Hold, and Chapel. The Eye's control mechanisms are located on either side of the platform. Waste no more time, Baranor. The Scourge will have this place. The Lich King commands it. Okay, so we gotta come over here to this bad boy. And now we're gonna be piloting this little orb. Just for a few minutes. Just gotta fly around, siphon. I don't know what we're siphoning exactly. I mean, as far as I know, we're just supposed to be scouting, but yeah, we just gotta come to all the little buildings down here. One more. And eventually we'll be coming through here in person. And all of this is considered the prologue for the Death Knight. And if I remember correctly, like, it does take a good amount of time to get through it. But let's turn this quest in. They prepare for battle as expected, but there is something else. I sense an old enemy, an enemy that I destroyed long ago. It matters not. We will send the full might of the Scourge against them before they have a chance to evacuate their homes and put in place their defenses. Listen well, Death Knight, for I give to you the words that will start a war. My final judgment has been passed. Death to all. None shall stand so boldly against the might of the Scourge without reprisal. As you have served me well in your first task, so too shall you serve me in your next task. Take my judgment to High Lord Mograine at the command post of Acris, found on the first floor. Tell him to begin the assault. When the crusade has been dealt with, we will finish off the Argent Dawn. So he's just sending us to the next quest giver. But I am going to end the video here, guys, and in the next one, we will be continuing our adventures as the dreaded Death Knight. So, if you guys liked the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Also, feel free to leave any comments. Once again, I'm LeBron Games, signing off.